Hello, my name is Angela, and today I will guide you through the Trip Viewer application on how it works and how to begin working with us. First of all, let's go to the App Store or Google Play Store and search for Trip Viewer. Scroll a little bit down and download the app with the 3 blue arrows. Once you downloaded it, open the app and you must grant permissions to everything that pops out, location and notifications. The location permission must be set to always allowed. You will be asked to indicate your device ID, which will be provided by us. Once you set your device ID, your information will be displayed and the application will ask you your PIN code to be able to enter the app, which will also be provided by us. I advise you to save this PIN code as the application will ask you the PIN code every time you enter the application. Read the terms and condition, scroll down and press accept. Once in the app, the first thing it will ask you to insert your working shift. Just press on Edit Working Hours, and here you select the day you want to put your shift for and the periods. Begin setting your period 1, for example, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can also split your shift if you need a break by inserting the period 2. Example, period 1 from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. and period 2 from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Once you are done with inserting your shift, just press Save and Confirm. Please note that you should submit your schedule before 2 p.m. every day. Otherwise, you will not receive your schedule for the next day. Now, if you set up your schedule correctly before 2 p.m., every evening from 9 p.m. to maximum 11 p.m., you should receive your full schedule in the section Trip Offer. You must accept every trip that you will have assigned to you. In any case, you should not reject a trip without the approval of a dispatcher and a valid reason. Once you accepted the trips, they will be displayed in the section My Trips. Let's see what information about the trip we have. First, we have the pickup time and last pickup time. In this case, the trip is for 6 p.m. and the last pickup time is for 6:15 p.m. This means you have the right to be 15 minutes late, maximum 20 minutes. If you are going to be later than 20 minutes, it will drastically impact your rating. If you know that for a trip you will be later than 20 minutes, you should contact your dispatcher. Then you have the pickup address, the drop-off address, the notes section where you can find some indications from the passenger, and also some alternative phone numbers, quantity of the passengers, the mileage, the copay that you should retrieve from the passenger, and the name of the passenger. Now let's see what are the steps of the trips. You have en route, arrival, picked up or cancel, and finally dropped off. Let's analyze these steps more in depth, starting with en route. You should press en route 1 hour before the pickup time, and it means that you are currently going from your current position to the passenger pickup address. Before heading to the passenger location, you should call the passenger to confirm that the passenger will take the ride and have not canceled the ride. When you press en route, a model will pop up asking to select your favorite navigation app. Let's go to the next step, which is arrival. When you arrive to the passenger location, you should press arrival. This way the passenger gets notified that you're outside. Next step is to call the passenger and let the passenger know and give some indications of your exact location and vehicle information. We are almost done. Our next step is the pickup or cancel step. Once the passenger arrives and sits in the car, you need to press the pickup button, and to confirm that the passenger is in the car, the system will ask you some information like the access a ride ID of the passenger and the quantity of the passengers. Ask the passenger his or hers ID and insert it in the app along with the quantity of passengers, and you are good to go. If a passenger is not answering to your phone and you can't find the passenger outside, you can call the dispatcher for assistance, or you can tag the trip as a rider no-show once the countdown is expired. Keep in mind that if the countdown expires and you are still waiting for the passenger, instead of tagging the trip as a rider no-show can slow you down and you can be late for your next pickup. Decide wisely on how to behave. Wait for the passenger if you have plenty of time, or if you think that you are gonna be too late. Tag the trip as a no-show and head to the next pickup. Last step is the drop-off. Once you arrive to the drop-off address of the passenger, you just need to press the drop-off button and to confirm that you actually dropped off the passenger. And also keep in mind that the tolls will be added automatically by the system, but only when you have a passenger on board. Once you completed a trip and pressed dropped off, the application will open the summary of the ride and the payment summary. Here we have the trip cost, the trip gross, the company commissions, and finally the clean sum that you will get from the ride, including the copay. These were the steps for completing a trip from start to finish. Now let's explore the other sections of the application. Here we have the notification section, where you will see constant updates of the trips, like trips that were rerouted or canceled, messages from the dispatchers, and more. Then we have earning section, where you can keep track of how much you earn daily. You can also check the earning during a period of time by just pressing on the calendar on the top right corner and selecting the period. Finally, we have the profile section, which is subdivided into driver and vehicle. For both of them, we suggest only to check if your data is correct and to not modify it by yourself. If you find some incorrect data, just notify us. In the profile section, you also have your working schedule, which I remind you to set it before 2 p.m. Also, you can set your schedule for the entire week ahead, but the system will memorize your schedule, and if your plans for a specific day will change, for example, you cannot work that day, you should remember to switch off that exact day, or to change your working hours a day ahead. If you forget to do this crucial step, the system will assign trips to you, and we will have to remove them, which will drastically impact your rating. That is all for the application. Now just a few words and some hints on how to work more efficiently. Hint number 1. Always call your passengers ahead so you already know who will be traveling, who will be ready, and who will not. Hint number 2. You should always retrieve the copay from the passengers. Ask them nicely and always keep change in dimes inside the car, and remember to ask the passengers if they need the change. If a passenger refuses to pay or don't have money, absolutely do not argue with the passenger. Instead, you should tell the passenger that it is not a problem. Then call the dispatcher and notify him that the passenger did not pay the copay. The dispatcher will add you the missing copay into the salary. Also, in some very rare cases, the passengers can pay for their rides with coupons instead of the copay. You cannot deny this type of payment. You can return the coupons to our base, and we will give you the equivalent of the coupon in cash. Hint number 3. In some cases, you will have a shared ride with some time difference, for example, one at 6 a.m. and one at 6:30 a.m., but the distance between their pickup addresses is just 10 minutes. In this case, we advise to pick up the first passenger with a little bit of delay. For example, 10 to 15 minutes of delay. Just call the passenger and tell him or her that you are going to be a little bit late. This way, the first passenger will not stay in the car for 20 minutes waiting for the other passenger. Or you can call the second passenger and ask if he or she is willing to be picked up a little bit earlier. Last thing before you start, let's talk about your rating. The first 3-4 days are gonna be average days, as the system is monitoring your efficiency, reliability, and your speed. To increase your rating, here are some 3 suggestions. First, the first pickup of the day is crucial. It's the most important trip. Try to be in time and make sure to pick it up. Second, as previously said, late pickups decreases your rating, so try to not exceed 20 minutes of delay. And third, if you wish to remove a trip, you should call the dispatcher at least 2 hours before the scheduled pickup time. For example, if you want to remove the trip for 8 p.m., you should do it before 6 p.m. That was absolutely all. I recommend rewatch the video or speak to a supervisor if something was not clear. I wish you the best of luck.